Hello.
Hello, good evening, good morning, Nisha.
Good good evening. Good evening, good morning, good afternoon, whatever, wherever you are.
Yes.
So,
So, how was today in Canada?
Canada today look bright and sunny. Looks nice.
It
No
looked like
rain.
you have forgotten that you have moved to Canada. You are always putting post in Facebook saying live from Mara.
Not live from Mara. It's about Mara, or maybe more or less incidents happened in Mara in last 10 years. So it's more of experience sharing from Mara.
Yeah.
But I keep saying that hello from Mara and I keep correcting it hello from Vancouver. Yeah, that is definitely an issue. Yes. Sure.
Okay. So, let me share this to wherever possible way we can get some audience.
It's not COVID. I think it is simple allergy. But then, yes, the moment you are coughing, it always give you a feel that what the hell is happening.
Yeah.
Give me 1 second once again.
Shatsi is online saying hello from London. Oh, she reached. Yeah, she was supposed to go last week. I hope she reached safely and now in quarantine. I think you're mute, Nisha. Hello? Can you hear me?
Give me 1 minute, please.
Okay, okay. Yeah.
Yeah.
Shaista is locked in a hotel room.
It's not COVID. I'm just trying to share this. So 1 minute, I'll be back.
Sure.
Otherwise, how are things?
Things are good. It started summer in Dubai.
So no more owls?
Owls are always here.
I'm really looking forward to see some whenever I'm back.
Yeah. Graphite and paper. Hello.
All right. So let's begin.
Yeah.
All right. Okay. So we kind of share the same kind of what do you call? 1 second. I'm sorry. I'm a bit confused between the screens. So yeah, we started our journey together. You really played well your role of being a mentor, being the right hand, being the buddy, brother, and everything. So I would like to start this journey or this talk with a big thank you for tolerating me, honestly. Tolerating me and tolerating my tantrums and being patient with me, because there are few people in my life, in my journey. I should start uh, with a big thanks, you, my sis, my family, definitely. Yeah, so Hermi, thanks a lot for being there for me most of the time. and and definitely for your guidance and for teaching me patience and teaching me a lot of things. Okay, so now beyond this, let's get into our wild tender moments. Our journey started in Masemara. In fact, in 2000.
Before going that, I got a good comment from Dilip. Hermes Kullanaitam. That means I'm looking handsome.
Always. I need to tell her, Sneha, to be careful. All right. So the thing is, we started our journey together when it comes to wildlife photography, specifically focusing on birds in Dubai, and then
Yes.
we happened to go to Masai Mara once in 2011, if I'm not wrong, on our
Yeah.
Eid holidays. And on it was a 3 days program, and only 1.5 day or 2 days in Mara, and we end up in seeing all the big five, including a leopard with two cubs climbing up the tree and going down the tree, and the leopard cub falling down the tree and shy and hiding behind a bush, all these things. And
Yes.
that kind of changed my life as well as Hermes' life. We both of us become jobless in couple of years time, quit our job and got completely into wildlife, and got kind of learned a lot in our journey so far, like 10 years journeys in mainly focusing on Africa and some other part of the world. So what I'm going to share is going to be some images through this journey, and most of them are from Africa. So in fact, I don't have any images. I couldn't get some images from my very first trip to Masai Mara, which I was talking about this particular leopard. I think
Yeah, I
it's
remember the leopard cub on the tree,
on the tree. Yes.
feasting
Yeah.
on an impala.
Yes. But unfortunately, I think that hard disk is with you in Dubai. And sorry for that. So we thought of, I thought of sharing some images from our Tanzania trip. And this was from, if I'm not wrong, Herme, this was in Indu, right?
Yeah, I can't see the picture. Though.
Okay, 1 second. Yeah, this is the first image I would like to share. And this is from Indu. And this was my first ever experience of seeing this tiny little lion cub. And I think it was maybe around 40-45 days old. And there were two cubs, and that was our, as I mentioned, that was our very first experience of seeing something this tiny and this fragile. They were not even introduced to the rest of the pride, so they were with the mother all the time, and the show was only in the morning and sometimes in the evening, but we have seen it only in the morning, maybe for 2 or 3 days. And it was a learning experience for us, because as I mentioned, this is from 2011 2012, which was the very beginning of our journey as wildlife photographers. So the idea over here was to go as low as possible. It was not a vehicle with open door or anything like that. It was just a common vehicle with you have to keep your a camera on top of the window and they shoot it. So the possibility is going, you wherever you are positioning your vehicle, it should be on a slightly lower plane if it is possible, so that you get the image which looks like it is on ground level.
Yeah,
And then
and the good thing with Ndutu conservation area is that you can go off road, which means you can go a little bit closer to the animals. That was a good thing. Yeah.
Yes, and I was using a 600 over here.
Yes.
And some of the images. So catch light definitely play a major role over here. Plus, you can see those dewdrops in the grass blade that also add value into the in the picture. See, when we start, most of us, when we start our journey as a wildlife photographer, we always wanted everything to be on your face, as close as possible, as big as possible. But as you grow old, with your age as well as with your profession, the way you see things change, and the way you present thing also change. So if I was focusing more on getting portraits these days I use, instead of 600 1635 or 7200. So that is the way we change our view as well as perspective. All these images are with a 600 And whenever you get an opportunity to get that eye contact and this in this ground level, that is always a happiness. Now, all whatever you have seen was with only with the cubs. If you cubs portraits are definitely beautiful, but it makes more sense in case if you can add a little bit of mother. It doesn't need to be the full portion of mother. It can be a tail, it can be a paw, it can be a portion of mother, so that you get a feel that it is from the wilderness. It's not from a animal rescue center or an animal orphanage. And definitely tender moments, their interaction, their love and the light play a major role when it comes to wildlife photography. So it's the story, it's the emotion, it's the connection. Now to the next one. This is from 2016, if I'm not wrong. This is from the Rich Pride. So there
2017.
2017 or 16. I don't remember the year exactly. So there was I think around 3 cubs were there in the same age, and one day early morning, this was like I was with a guest. His name is Kalidas. So me and Kalidas were looking for this particular lions, and we were not expecting this to go to the den and popping out its head from a den. It was a dream, but I was not expecting this, and focusing was tough. Honestly, it was really tough to get the focus specifically onto the subject. So what I have done, switch the complete settings to manual and put the manual focus as well, and then took this picture. I think if I took 20 images among this, only 1 or 2 was properly focused. So that was really a difficult situation. So situations like this, if in case if your equipment is not performing the way you are looking for, due to low light as well as the distraction in the scene, here in this particular time, I think the grass as well as it was really tiny, and this is like in a 400 or 600 so it was slightly in the distance as well, and we were keeping our distance mainly so that we don't disturb the animals. Especially we feel that they were going to do something or play around this particular area, so we were keeping our good distance in this particular case, and this fellow popped up his head. And then all the 3 of them got into the journey. There was one more, if I remember correctly. I wanted to get all the 3 inside this and looking at us. Unfortunately, that never happened. So dreams definitely is good, but then sometimes you may get it partially done. Sometimes it may not happen for years. Sometimes it will happen in like this. So it completely depends on how mother nature want to play games with you. Sometimes it will be, sometimes if we are considering nature as a female, then yes, sometimes she may be very playful and she can gift you some wonderful moments. So these are some wonderful moments from my journey. So this is from one beautiful place called Kamchatka or Kuril Lake in Russia. So I really, I must say that that's one of the most beautiful place. Especially the journey itself was amazing, and it's a very isolated area. You reach there, you have only what you have is your satellite phone. Otherwise, you don't even have phones. And the plus point is you can see bears in 3 feet, 4 feet distance. And if there are cubs, then you will be able to see some lovely interaction among cubs. Yes,
and this is brown bear.
Yeah, this is brown bears. Oh, sorry. I'm so used to this Mara and cats, so it kind of get confused between anything and everything. So the young ones always are playful, like cats or like an antelope or anything. When it comes to the mother and the young one interaction, it's always you're touching your heart. In this particular case, light was beautiful. It was late in the evening, and we got them in the beautiful light, maybe for an hour or so. And towards the end of the day, And these are two images which I still I can close my eyes and think about it, and I can still see it. And as you see, the vegetation, the habitat is quite bushy in the background, but it looks like a concrete place when it comes to the ground, but it is not. And you can also see, you can see the parts of milk kind of going through her body, and the way she is sitting and relaxed, as well as looking around, and the young ones enjoying their feast. So it's definitely one place you should visit if you can. If you are somebody who can think, you can cut off your internet as well as phone calls for 2 to 3 days, then Kamchatka is one place to visit. And what you need to expect is brown bears, brown bears, and brown bears. So their interaction, they jump
And a lot of salmons.
and lot of salmons and seagulls. And yeah, there is one day you will get a chance to walk 5 kilometers. It's almost 10 kilometers trekking through the water, uh, through the forest, and you may have couple of very close encounters with brown bears as well. And they kind of understand humans, as well as if you don't cross that border, if you don't try to play too smart, then it is extremely safe. They can come extremely close, but they don't harm you until unless you try to go and hug them or try to play with them or think that they are teddy bears, then you are safe.
If you know which I did in my first trip.
Yeah, I remember some of your images, which Hermie did, I think 2 or 3 trips to Kamchatka, and I've done only one trip, and his images from the very first trip was the inspiration for me to think about this place and work for it. And it took, I think, another 2 years for me to make it. So it was a beautiful journey once again, and these species are amazingly beautiful. And now, life is not just...
We have a question before you go to this.
Okay.
How do you decide on field which aperture to use as a particular focal length so that the animal is in focus? Example, lion size is different to that of a bear.
I mean, once you are in animal is in focus, or you want to talk about the background?
Animal, like he's talking, I think is mentioning about the size is bigger, so the aperture has to be bigger.
Size doesn't have something to do with aperture. For me, aperture, I mainly use it to define how I want to put it. If I'm looking for a beautiful bouquet in the background, or if I want to add more elements of the habitat into the picture. So if the distance from the subject to the background, if it is decent, and if in that case, if you're going to use an f4 or f6.3 as well, you will get a creamy background. And even if you're talking about lens, yeah, it makes sense to if you want to use a 400 mm or 7200 mm, yes, depending on the size and depending on the frame you are thinking about, it makes sense. What do you think, Hermie?
Yeah, maybe I don't know. Like in the last picture,
yes,
there were the bears and as well as the cubs also.
Yes.
So you need to like think about what aperture you use to get everything in focus.
In focus. The focus plane is the main thing over here. Whatever comes in the focus plane, in that particular line where you are focusing, if you're going to use 2.8 in this particular case, think I'm focusing on the face of the first cub, which is suckling. So that particular area, 2.8, will be focusing all in whatever comes in that particular line. If I'm going to use f4, then that particular cub, young one, as well as the one behind and the mother will be in focus. If I'm going to put f22, you will have more clarity on the background, including the tree and every element in that picture. But if you're going to zoom in, the focus will be mainly on this particular 3 guys over here. And when you are going to put it in 100% or 200%, you will be able to see the background. The trees or the bush will be slightly more blur. But on the whole, when you see, if you're going to use higher aperture, it's going to look um, more clear, or you will see the details of every aspect in a frame. If I'm not sure if that is
so in usual cases for cats or bears, f4 or 5.6 would be ideal.
if you're talking about a portrait kind of thing, yes. And if you're talking more on the habitat side, then I would suggest f12, f13. And if you have multiple elements in a frame, like you have one subject in the front and one subject in the background, and you want the subject in the back to be slightly out of focus, then use a wider aperture like f2.8 or f4. And if you want the subject in the back to be more clear, as to some extent at least clear as the one in the front, then once again try to increase the aperture so that you have all the subjects or all the elements in the frame will be more clear or more focused.
Dilip is asking, do you carry pepper spray with you?
We never, I mean, for this particular trip, no, we didn't carry any pepper spray with us, because we have two or three rangers all the time with us. This is one trip. There is no it's not in the vehicle. So
it's always by foot.
By foot, you will be walking and you will be coming across bears many times during these walks. And the good thing is, I think these bears know that there are rangers with you, and so they never.
I have seen rangers literally communicating with the bears.
So
they are living there along with the bears from past few years. So they are used to them. They know them.
Yes. So in that way, I see, that's what I said. If you don't try to become over smart and try to do anything stupid, then
but it is always good to carry pepper spray with you when you go to all these places. Deepthi is asking, do you always use manual setting and click in RAW? In what circumstances do you use other settings?
I usually use aperture priority and autofocus. But when the light is extremely low, when I find it difficult to focus or difficulty in any of the aspect, that is when I use manual focus or manual settings. Otherwise, whenever I am trying to do some experimental things like slow shutter or rain, or silhouettes, or some rim light, so the experimental elements, then I always try to put completely on manual, including focus. If not, if there is an action sequence or anything, then I always use aperture priority, but I always have my attention on the shutter speed so that I don't end up in messing up things.
Let's
go
ahead.
Now this one, it's a topi and a young one. Once again, see, wildlife photography is not, especially if you're talking about Masai Mara or African terrain, it's not just about cats. There are so many other beautiful elements or beautiful species. In fact, every species in this planet Earth is beautiful. It's our responsibility to portray it in a way where people can feel that connection with them. So any species, you get it in the African horizon, whether it is on a beautiful morning or evening, sometimes even during the day, can create magic if the chemistry is good in the scene. So this was one topi along with the young one. When it comes to silhouettes, yes, the settings what I use white balance. For white balance, I use Kelvin, and I always start with 6,300. In this particular case, it was 8,300. So the higher the Kelvin is, it's going to give you more orangish tint to your picture. So if you're somebody who like the orangish tint, then you can go slightly on the higher side. In my case, I often use 8,300 plus or 8,300 at least. The lower you get, like 4,800, 4,000, 4,500, 3,800, and all will make your images look cool. In fact, me and Hermie, if you are going to compare, my images will be more on the orangish side and Hermie's images will be more on the bluish side. So it differs from people to people. We even call that blue tint as Hermie blue, right, Hermie? So it's personal choice. In my case, yes, of course, I'm a warm I think I really like the warm tint in images, so that's the reason I try to push the Kelvin slightly up to get that warmer tint. So this is a topi with a young one in the horizon, and underexpose the image so that you get that black cutout or silhouette feel. And in it can be 3 stop to 5 stop. In this particular case, it was 3 stop. You
We
give
have one more.
yeah.
Sorry, we have one more question from Dilip.
Okay.
Uh, Ms. Nisha, during your trips, have you ever photographed wolves in Kamchatka,
No.
hunting as a pack or lone wolf?
I have seen wolves, but not in Kamchatka, in Yellowstone.
Wolves is not a common, like it's not that common in Kamchatka. I heard they have wolves, but and they have this wolf hunting as well, but we haven't seen so far.
Yeah, I haven't seen them hunting, but I have seen them with a kill couple of times, but it was slightly in the distance. Some beautiful habitat once when in the snowfall, and you can see the snowflakes all over the place and complete white, along with this wolf feasting on some, I think, a moose. But it was
Mm.
really beautiful.
Yeah.
And yeah, if I'm moving forward, when it comes to cubs, you need to give them time. Don't try to jump inside the vehicle. Don't try to communicate in the high pitch voice. Keep your volume low. Be patient. Be there, and have some vision in your head before you go. Try to see as many images as possible. These young ones are very, very curious. If you give them time, if you are peaceful, if you are quiet, then they can come as close as this. They can come next to your door and just put their head inside. Sometimes they can even jump inside. Yeah, getting that close is not advisable because people can get panic, and if that is going to lead to some kind of accident and people end up in disturbing the animal, that's definitely not good for you, neither good, not it's not good for the animals either. Right now the cheetahs count is only 6,800 or less than that, so it's our responsibility to keep that distance, as well as try not to disturb anything in nature. The point I would like to make is, yeah, if you're looking for something closer shots, all you need to do is keep quiet, give them time to develop that trust with you, to develop that communication with you. Then when it comes this close, don't try to touch them or anything. Then the whole scene can change. But if you're just taking pictures, do that. You may be able to see some wonderful moments.
Yeah, especially when people come with family
Yeah,
to Masemara and all, that's a toughest time to control. The kids will be the moment they see the cubs,
young
they will
ones,
start running around in the vehicle.
vehicle.
So I I had a very funny experience. I was with one family, so very small kid. He was running around making noise. So like the cub was trying to come very close, but the moment he make noise, it start running away.
Running away.
Yeah. So
Yeah.
after some time, I told this guy that if you make noise, then your dad has to pay a huge sum as a fine in the park. After that, he sat very calm. He was very calm. He sat very peacefully in the vehicle, enjoying the cub. Yeah,
Yeah.
sometimes you have to do a lot of things.
Yeah, especially when you have young kids in the vehicle, they are full of energy, exactly
Yeah,
like
we
the
can't
cubs.
complain them.
Yeah,
It's that excitement what they are showing.
yeah. So it's you definitely need to play a lot of tricks to make them calm and cool and sit and watch the show.
Yeah. So you have a question from Rabinesh. Have you been attacked with by any animals?
While I was doing a project in Kerala, I was chased by an elephant, but it was just a small run. Beyond that, I don't think I never had any bad experience. I mean, even that was not bad experience. We could hear them running behind us, and we could feel the smell of elephant. But then beyond that, no. But I
Yeah.
do have some very close encounters with leopards, as well as cheetahs, like cheetah getting on top of a vehicle, sniffing my head, putting its tail and hitting my face, all these things, yes, but then nothing in a negative manner.
Okay.
Okay, so this is our darling Imani, I think from 2016 or 17 April. No, 18 April, right?
Yes, this was the
18,
situation that I was talking about
yeah.
while
Yeah,
photographing this.
2018 April, and it was right after a rain. So this young one and the mother was having a great time. You can see that texture. In this particular case, this is the first time, in fact, I was using Nikon C7. I was so pissed off with Nikon. Honestly, whenever I go for certain trips, I do get certain equipments for testing, and I was promised to get a Nikon C6 at that point of time. But the day it happened, things didn't work out, and I got a C7. So I was thinking, no, I'm not going to use it. But then on the second or third day, when my head was slightly cooler, then I started to use it when with the lion. The lion was sitting idle, and it was inside a inside a session where it was tall grasses, and so the focusing was extremely difficult. So I was thinking I need to try the C7 and see how it works. And I see the way it was tracking the focus. I was amazed. In fact, it was a 20 or 23 days trip. After that particular incident, I started to use a lot on more, in fact, more than D5 I was using C7 on this trip. I'm not saying that I can compare C7 Mark 1 with D5, but for moments like this, when you are talking about portraits, I have some great action shots as well, but action shots I still prefer D5 or D6 over C7. But when you get it right, if it is going to be C7, it is going to be amazing because it's a 45 megapixel camera. You can blow it up to a wall size, and the clarity is spectacular. So if anybody is thinking about getting a camera mainly focusing on the portraits and thinking something about enlarging on larger than life size pictures, then my suggestion will be Nikon C7, and it's a spectacular camera. So this is one moment. So forget about the brand, forget about the camera, but what I would like to say is look for moments when it comes to young ones. They always try to hug the mother. They always try to slap the mother, kiss the mother. There will be a lot of licking stories. So, and in between, there will be moments where you have eye contact. So look for those contacts to see the magic, and keep your eyes glued to the viewfinder. Now, this is once again Amani. She, at this point of time, she got two cubs, and she had a narrow escape from a pride of lions. She didn't see the lions, and she was almost getting in front of a lion. I was the first person to see the lion. In fact, me and Hermie was there. We were the first people to see the lion, and we shouted. Thankfully, there were a lot of other vehicles too, so the lions couldn't cross the vehicle. That was the only reason she managed to save the cubs. And in fact, I think in from this particular litter, she managed to save one cub. And this time she had four cubs, and she lost all the four. So it's horrible to know that, the mortality rate when it comes to cheetah cubs, it's extremely high, and they are very vulnerable when as young ones specifically, because they can be hyenas, leopards, lions, and everybody can kill these young ones. In fact, we had a crazy experience this time with Amani. I mean, last year, a lioness trying to hunt down this four cubs, and thankfully we were there, and she was very bold to chase the lion away. So that was another amazing experience we had in 2020. So when you are seeing, this is what I'm talking about, focus plane. See, you can see the mother as well as the young one is in the same plane. So you can see both, even if you're going to use 4.5 or 5.3, any of this, even if it is f4, you will be able to see both in both as clear because it is in the same focus plane. I was using slightly higher shutter speed because this fellow, this young little one, was kind of jumpy all the time. So I wanted to get him in action, get him on air. So this is one shot, you can see it's completely on air, and I was using 2400 as shutter speed and f4.5 or f4, I don't remember exactly, as the aperture, and the eye contact with the mother as well. See, when it comes to cheetahs, we always say if you are trying to use your focus point on the tear marks, which is connecting the eyes to the mouth, then your life, when it comes to focusing, can be slightly more easy. So that is one trick to put the focus on cheetahs.
So we have a question from Dilip.
Okay.
Isn't there a law not to interfere with nature, especially when predators chase prey?
I couldn't hear anything. There was a problem in the voice.
Isn't there a law not to interfere with nature, especially when predators chase prey?
We never interfere, but then in certain situations we do interfere. See, for an example, when it comes to the number of animals, if it is a cheetah, if we are talking specifically about cheetah, the number of cheetahs across the world is only 6,800. And if you don't protect the young ones, then it can really be a trouble. See, in 100 years time, in before 100 years ago, we got more than 200,000 plus cheetahs in the wilderness. Right now what we have is only 6,800. So that is the kind of reduction what we are seeing in our, we are talking about in a century's time. So right now, if we don't protect these animals, then they are going to vanish. So we in Masai Mara, in fact, there are two organizations which is into cheetah conservation. In one particular organization, they have appointed a few people, some rangers, along with couple of vehicles. They will be always
Cheetah forever.
with the,
Cheetah forever.
yeah, cheetah forever. They are always there to protect the young ones. So in case if even then there are incidents where hyenas kill cheetahs, lions kill cheetahs, leopards kill cheetahs, but still because of these guys, there were many situations cheetah cubs were protected. So in certain situation, yes, we do have the right to get involved, mainly to protect a particular species from extinction.
Yeah.
Is that clear?
Yes, and we have another question from Graphite and Paper. Do you always use natural light or occasionally use flash or artificial light with cooperative subjects?
I have never used. I know people who use artificial light flash as well as other artificial lights. I've never tried to use flash for sure. But then when it is really late, sometimes we try to use vehicles light as a supporting element, but not flashlight. I mean, in fact, if I need to use flash, I first need to understand flash properly. So no flash I haven't used. There are occasions when it is late evenings or early mornings. Sometimes I think what is that? Spring hair, right, Hermie?
Yes.
For spring hare, and there was one more white-tailed mongoose.
Mongoose, yeah.
Yeah, these are nocturnal animals. So we have some spots around the Malaika. So sometimes we see them on our way back to camp, and when if it is really dark, then we use, if we have two vehicles, then we try to use one vehicle for light and do some shooting. So that is the only time we use light. I mean, in our particular.
Sometime I use torchlight as well.
Yeah, sometimes use torchlight. That way, again, not directly on the subject, just flash it, and so that you get that light, and then you can take the picture. But flash, no, I haven't used. I think when it comes to macro as well as in South American side, especially for hummingbirds and all, there are a lot of techniques to use flash photography. But I'm a bit
even for big cats also, like a lot of people use flashlights
flash.
and other external source of light.
I know that elephants do get triggered and get angry with flashlights.
Yeah.
And
but see, it depends on what is the power of light that you use.
again, I'm not sure to what extent the studies are done, to what is if to understand if there is a damage in using flash. If there is a damage, I would
Yeah,
definitely
it's not flash. I'm talking about
yeah,
like other source of light.
lights. Yes.
Yeah,
So this is our story,
yeah.
but yeah.
We have a question from Shiva and Kumar. What are the tear marks on the cheetah face and how are they useful to the animal? In fact, yeah, the tear marks. See, when it comes to a place like Mara and all, the glare of the sun is extremely bright. It's an open plain. So while hunting, these tear mark help to reflect away the sun's glare. That is the most important, as far as I know, most
Yes.
important use for
This would
the
be
the tear
earmarks.
marks in cheetahs.
Yes. Yeah. It's that's what even I think I have read about it too.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
Anything more?
That's it.
Yeah, young ones once again from the Black Rock Pride. So I have a feel that now we have around 5 young lions, not young in the sense maybe 2.5 year old lions, and I'm not sure if this one is one among them. So in 2016 or 17, Hermi,
Yeah. No. 17 or 18.
17 or 18, when we were there in Mara, there were around 12 young cubs in Black Rock Pride, and it was a treat. So, when it comes to cubs, once again, usually there will be two, one cub we hardly see. I think very rarely we see a mother with one cub. In normal scenario, there will be multiple mothers and there will be a bunch of cubs, maybe it's 4, maybe 6, maybe 12, but 12 was the biggest number I have seen in one age group. And it was a treat, and it was really confusing at times. You really have no idea where to focus. So
Yeah.
uh, that is one thing where you need to be a little conscious when the pride is big, when there is a number of cups, then you will be focusing on one and the other one will be doing something naughty. You try to change the focus on the other one, then this one will be doing something naughty. So you need to have that peace of mind and patience to focus on one to see what is going to happen. Yeah, you can toggle between, but still keep the focus on one or two guys can give you some moments.
Yeah.
And this was early morning. I was using f2.8 and I was using a 600 over here. And this is
Kaboso.
Caboso. Yeah, this was Caboso's cubs, and we saw them when they were really tiny, but there was no images from that particular trip. And after 2 months, I managed to get another. I was with another trip with Emmanuel, another guest from Dubai, and there were two cubs. In fact, we missed them, two of them together on top of a canopy and playing. But this even though we missed two of them together, then this fellow was on top of the canopy and gave us some good shots. So the idea for me was the formation of that green foliage in the background as well as in the foreground. You can see the background was really bright and the foreground was really dark. So if you or try to overexpose, the background can get really overexposed. So you need to play, you need to have the in your head you need to have an idea of how it is going to look in when it is going to when you're going to do the post processing, how it is going to look, that you need to have a clear idea. For me, the formation of that sea or that veins as well as the tree was the main thing, along with this young one looking straight to me.
Good.
It was really a dream for me to see leopard young ones, and till we saw Bahati's young one, it was still a mystery for us. After that, thankfully, I was blessed with a lot of leopard, especially very tiny ones, and interactions. Tell me, you were about to say something?
Yeah, I was saying that especially in Masai Mara, it's very tricky to photograph because you will find clouds every now and then. So
Yeah.
some portion where the clouds comes, it will be dark, and the other background, you might get it too bright to
Yes.
control. So
Yes.
yeah,
Yeah, so you always need to have an idea about what is in your background as well as foreground and the focus plane and the frame. So photography is not just about using the high end equipments or going to different places, which is beyond that. Your sense of picturizing something, your sense of capturing something play a major role. You can use a very basic camera, can still make fabulous images. It may be slightly more, there may be more work involved to produce something, but it is possible.
Mm-hmm. So again, Udit Pathak was asking the same question about using flash or external light. He's asking, aren't there any chances of animals getting startled by using flash? Yeah, as we said, using flash, there are possibilities, but small light doesn't make much impact, I guess.
Yeah, flash is quite strong even for
Yeah.
us, even for human eyes. If you think about a flash,
Yes.
above 50% of the people close eyes. I close the eyes if somebody is going to use flash, and it irritates you. And
Yeah.
imagine the way wildlife photographers make images. They will be making the hundreds of images, and imagine the number of flashes they are going to fire. So yeah, I think we really need to have a proper study on it and to understand to what extent it is disturbing the species. And my suggestion, it's my personal opinion, will be if it is our photography itself is disturbing for animal habitat, it's an honest thing. But then if these images and because we are spending some amount of money over there, if it is going to, a percentage of it is going to go on welfare of animals as well as the people who are taking care of it, and if these images are going to help some people, at least some people, to get more connected with nature, why not? So that's the whole idea behind wildlife photography. Art, definitely it's a matter, but beyond that, it's the rebuilding the connection with nature is the key. So it should not be the other way around.
Mm-hmm.
And yeah, this is another spectacular moment from 2016 with Sujit and you.
Yeah.
Yeah, when it comes to years, I'm sorry, I'm pretty bad with years. So this particular time, I was using 180 400 mm for the first time in my life, and I fall in love with that equipment. And that's one of the best equipment when it comes to Nikon line. It's my opinion, and I'm a die-hard fan. If somebody asks me what is my first choice when it comes to wildlife photography in the Masai Mara, when it comes to lens, it is going to be 180 400 mm. So this one, you can see the umbilical cord. It was maybe few minutes after the birth, and we have seen this young one taking its very first step in this world, and it is so fragile. In fact, a hyena or anything can actually harm this young ones. And I was literally praying that no lions, no leopards, no cheetahs, nothing is going to come on that side so that this guy will be safe. And the very gentle way the mother was supporting the young one with its head, with its body to, stand up and straight. And the way it was, trying to balance. I have some videos in my Instagram, and I think I've shared it in my Facebook as well. And you can see how fragile it is and how beautifully the mother is supporting. That particular touch makes a lot of difference um, in the wilderness. We talk about storytelling images. The story definitely is the viewer's perspective. It's not your perspective. You are able to build a story if you are able to connect yourself with a moment, if you are able to think beyond a frame. I think that's where you are successful as a photographer. So this is more of documentary, but this is a documentary which which have the power to evoke those emotions in you. Yeah, as I mentioned, I was using 180 400 mm at 400. I definitely had the option to go on 180 and get the full frame, but for me, I think this as a frame, it makes more sense or more meaningful than a full frame showing the full body of the mother as well as the young one. So it's again, when it comes to framing, it's all personal perspective. But if you're talking about the elements, yes, those umbilical cord and the blood, tint of blood or tinge of blood in that umbilical cord, definitely see that fragileness and the love of the mother and the bird. They are like, every element of their life and the habitat is in this particular image. Yeah, very close to my heart images in this particular case. Now, yeah, I'm not much into editing, but then certain images kind of give you a feel of a lot of melodrama. In this particular case, they were plain, but the way when you see it, it looks like some drama happening and somebody is trying to console someone. So it's a bit of nostalgia, kind of. That was the kind of feel for me. So I put it on sepia tone and try to play with slightly more into the editing side. Yeah, so keep your eyes glued to the viewfinder. You never know what is going to happen. And all these things happen only for a fraction of a second. So if you are not prepared to capture that moment, then there is no meaning in talking about it. It's what is gone is gone. The repetition may be better, may not be good, but the same, it's quite difficult when it comes to wildlife. These are two portraits I definitely find quite close to me. Now this one, especially the one, I mean, both are kind of quite close to me. I kind of feel that this particular one, the lion, was posing as a model and with his eyes, with his hands or with his paw on the chin and looking straight into the camera. And this guy, the small elephant, was spending time with elephants and cubs, I mean, young ones, can give you some spectacular moment if the light is awesome. And if the lion was a late evening and the baby elephant was an early morning. And when it comes to the baby elephant, what I love is the heart. It got such a beautiful ears and it looks exactly like the heart shape. So it definitely, steal my heart. And this guy, I mean, these are some of my, if there are often, I've been asked, which is your favorite image? I don't say this is my favorite image, but for me, images are moments. These are some moments which I really, when I think about, if I feel low and if I want to smile, if I want to think about something positive, all I have to do is think about certain situations, and this too will definitely play a higher role when it comes to that hierarchy.
Yeah, I always show this picture of the lion cub to in most of my presentation to make people understand that you have to be very focused on the field while you are shooting. And as you said, you have to keep your eyes glued to your viewfinder and wait for the right moment and click. It's like split of seconds. That moment will happen and then it's gone forever.
Yes.
So this picture I always show as an example.
Yes. Yeah.
And I did 3 sessions for some students in the last week, and all these sessions, the students like the most number of students who they like this picture the most. So
okay.
Yeah, and a lot of people took the screenshot of this particular picture, and they said they liked it most, and that was like an amazing moment.
It was definitely an amazing moment. Sometimes you feel, you remember, I always talk about Stefano, an Italian photographer, who told me that if you have a vision, a picture, a visual in your head, and if you have a subject in front of you, you try to talk to that subject using your mind. I know this may sound stupid to a lot of people, but I have a feel our thoughts have energy, and the energy definitely have a vibration. And if it is positive or negative, in my case, when it comes to photography, I think it's a lot about positivity. And there's a lot of coincidence too. but then dreaming and thinking and visualizing definitely can help you to create images,
Yeah.
and you can see things turning from dream to reality in front of your eyes, and sometimes that can be quite shaking as well. So dream, don't limit your dreams, dream.
Yeah, and I still remember I was in another car when this happened. I was in another car very next to you, and I haven't seen this moment. I haven't got this moment. So, yeah, as you said, it is that connection you want to make, and it's that focus, that how much you are focused on a particular subject.
Yeah, it's true. This is not the first incident. In fact, you remember, Hermi, when we were in 2012, when we were in Mara, one of the lion, I don't remember which lion it was, and you were talking about getting that lion in the horizon when the sun is rising.
Yeah,
And
I
I
remember.
told you that, what are you talking about? That is like a dream and it's not going to happen. And remember, when it happened, you got the picture and my camera stopped working.
Yeah,
So sometimes, I don't know, it may be completely coincident, but then sometimes you kind of, I feel that our thoughts can limit our ability to capture stuffs. It
yeah,
can be quite superstitious or whatever you call it, but with my experience, I think whenever I had an open mind with a lot of love and dreams, often I'm talking about photography related life, yes, I could see it happening in front of my eyes. Okay, a lot of drama or melodrama, so let's move forward. So this is the Black Rock Pride. So you can count them. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, and 7, one in the back. And there were 12 of them. And these five among this are the guys who is ruling or who is going to be the next rulers in Masai Mara.
yeah,
And this is one image I particularly like it, mainly because they are on the rock. That is a different thing, and you can see the surroundings, you can see the variation of green, you can see the bush as well as the valley, and the struggle of a mother. So that way this
yeah.
image plays.
And it shows the like harmony, how the prides live together.
Yes,
The very interesting fact is that the cubs drink milk from every mother. Like
every mother.
it's not like it's my mother, I will drink milk only from my mother. They drink milk from all the mothers, and all the mothers are happy to share. So
Yes.
that is something that uh, interesting fact.
Yeah, yeah, their pride system is extremely beautiful, especially when it comes to taking care of the young ones, and
Yeah,
they nurse everybody. The cub suckles everyone, so it's a beautiful, beautiful thing to see. Beautiful. We have a lot as humans. We say we are civilized, we are this, we are that, but then we have a lot to learn from these animals. And look for the right moment once again. These things, as I mentioned, until unless you keep your eyes glued to the camera, you will not see it, you will miss it, and these are not things which we are expecting or planned. So there were young ones around this particular scene, and they were playing with the mother. So you see the moment, you frame it accordingly, and then you capture it. So um, you can foresee a frame. In this particular case, yes, when there was a formation like this and the cups around, I really wanted this cup to get into this, and only one or two images in this particular frame. So keeping your eyes focused, your complete attention should be on the subject to make sure that you don't miss things. This is Malaika's last letter. In fact, this is quite old image, and Santosh Singh was with me. It was once again a trip a couple of years ago, and uh, she got two young ones and two male cubs, and we got some lovely moments with them. And I was using a 600 over here, It was really late in the evening, and I think the ISO was, I think, 6,000 or 7,000 in this particular case. And I was using Kelvin once again on 8,300. The idea was to get that beautiful light and the details. And it's more of a beautiful picture. And it was a dry season. That's what you see. It's all brown, brown, brown. This is from, I don't remember the year. So there was a young one in the horizon for a while. It's not as young as the previous one, maybe a month or maybe a couple of weeks old. And we were really worried about this one. But in few minutes time, the mother as well as the father joined the team, and you can see it looks more like a sculpture rather than a living thing, and the early morning light made it more beautiful. This is once again from Malaika's last litter. Malaika has vanished. I mean, I still would like to believe that she is in some part of Mara or Tanzania and somewhere, because all people know is she tried to cross the river. The young ones managed to cross the river, but then she vanished in the river. So it's very hard to believe that Malaika is no more. So in my imagination, I still think she is living somewhere in some part of Africa. So this is one of her young one. Yeah, this is another thing which you can think about. When there are young cubs, they will always be playing around the tail. If it got a sibling, maybe the sibling's tail. If it is the mother, then it's the mother's tail. So there is always room. If you are going to focus on the tail of a cheetah, you will be able to see a lot of lovely moments. And once again, this fellow was so close to our vehicle. You can see the vehicle's reflection inside the eyes. So this is a full frame image, and as I mentioned, all you need to do is you just need to keep quiet and wait for the moment, wait for them to approach. Initially, when it was approaching, when the trigger sound, the trigger sound was the sound was kind of pushing them away. But after 2 minutes, they'll come back. Then they get used to the trigger sound, and then they started to come and stay next to the door and give us look. And this is how we captured the image. And I thought of, because it was a dry season, everything was looking yellow, yellow. So I kind of feel that it's better with black and white. And I think my decision was right too. This is once again, I don't know which cub it is, but I have a feel it is Cabozo's young one. We spent almost 4 to 5 hours. This fellow was inside the bush, so we waited for 4 to 5 hours, and then it started slowly to come through the bush. And this is full frame. And I don't remember it was 7200 mm or 400 mm, but then a full frame image. And there was one image, you can see this fellow's eyes completely. There is a foreground green patch, right? In this case, you can see one eye, and on the other eye it's not completely clear. So in another picture, there is both eyes, you cannot see it properly. It is completely covered with the green, but then it is an eye, like the right eye over here. So that was very, very interesting frame for me. And when he or she was more comfortable, she came, she kind of stopped playing hide and seek and came sat next to the vehicle and give us a look. So this was one of my very close leopard encounter from 2016. Oh no, 2017 February. So I remember the time specifically mainly because it was, as I mentioned, leopard cubs was really tough for me till we see Bahati with her 3 cubs. After that, it was really a good time so far. So I hope that magic continues. And for me, this definitely play a major role because in my photography journey, because this was the first time I was seeing a leopard cub this upfront and close, and it was very special. And yeah, this is the young one trying to wake the Lion King and trying to see inside. They are inside the bush. So there is a story. So it's not the portrait, it's the story. It's trying to see whether the father is going to be mad or father is going to be okay. And it was really funny to see. The rest of it is more in video. So it was more funny to see how the father was putting its arm around the young one and making him so close to him, the way we hug our young ones, and making him relax and sleep. But then it was right before that, it was a lovely moment. Yeah, this is Malaika with her two young ones, and this is what I mentioned about the color. When the grass is dry, the color can be slightly dull, but the beauty is, like, you see the color of the place as well as the grass and the ground and the color of the cheetah looks so same, so it kind of create an illusion for the other prey, and that helps them to do the hunting and survival. So once again, tender moments. As I mentioned, they play around the head of the mother and jump around. So keep your eyes stuck into your camera. Now they will try to get hold of anything and everything, and they try to play, whether it is a twig, whether it is a dropping, or anything, and whether it is a tail of another dead species. So all these things. One more thing, whenever you try to capture a young one, try to see, as I mentioned, if you can show the shadow or some element of the mother or the family somewhere in the background or somewhere in the frame, that add more value to the image. In this particular case, you can see the another cub over there, and right behind there is mother, so the young one is not disturbed. You can see it's playful, and you can see that it had absolutely no issue with our presence. They were in their world, we were enjoying the show. And yeah, when the grass is tall, this is the trouble. In one way, as a photographer, it is the trouble for them as well, because hunting get really difficult for cheetahs when the grass is tall. Even these guys didn't survive. It is again from Imani. But then in situations like this, for me, I think a single point focus play a major role. Focusing, if you're trying to use group focusing, that can usually get only the grass in the frame. But when you are using single point focus, then it really helps to get the focus right on the spot. And especially with cheetah, the focusing can be really tricky. So try to focus on the tier mark so that you get it. Yeah, cheetahs or lions often use mounds or higher planes to see around. So here, this is Imani with one of her cub, and was trying to be. It was right before a rain. It was trying to look around to see if there is any possible chances for a hunt or a place to stay safe. I think it was after a hunt, so she was looking for a place to stay safe.
And they also look for the other predators.
So yeah, it's not always about showing the face. Sometimes even tails can talk about tails, right? And eyes. It's all emotions. It's all the way you frame it. So that light, the tint of light in the eyes, the twinkle in their eyes can talk a lot, and the emotions, as if it's called mom. It's calling mama. I know it's not calling mama, but that's the kind of feel I see it when I was seeing it through the viewfinder.
Yeah, in any species, once the catchlight is there in the eyes, it makes more life in the picture. It brings more life in the picture.
Yeah. Yes, this was one. I think it was a lifetime moment, right, Hermi?
Yeah. Very few photographers got this.
When I was with Philip, and Philip said we are going to look for something, and we were when I saw it for the first time, I was confused. I was thinking, is it a crossbreed between a zebra and a wildebeest. Oh, what the hell is it? But then later on, we got to know that it's a genetic disorder where you have the color variation, and it can actually affect the life of this young one, because the stripes, they say it helps to keep the zebra to some extent safe from the insects. Insects kind of, you as you see the mother, you don't see many insects on top of it. And you can also, it was really an experience for us to see the other zebras, the way they were looking at this young one. It was not only a wonder for us, it was a wonder for everybody, including in their own group. So it was a very special polka dotted zebra. That's how they're called, and it's a genetic issue. And where
I
you
think this
don't,
this died.
I'm
It
not
didn't
sure.
survive, right?
No, nobody know whether it survived or not. People know
Okay.
that it have crossed the border and gone to Tanzania,
Oh,
but
okay.
that on that particular season. But I think a lot of people were waiting to see it last year, but it didn't return, so may not survived. Not sure.
Mm. Yeah, there are a lot of beliefs when it comes to zebras stripes.
Yeah.
They say that it confuses predators, because when
Yes.
they, yeah, when they run in a group, the predator might mistake this for as a big huge animal by itself running.
Okay.
So it might it is a it is some research done by some biologists, and they made this as a story.
Okay.
So this illusion will confuse those predators. That's what they say. And as we said in cheetah, the tear marks, this the the black stripes
Yeah.
that absorbs heat in the morning, and it warm up zebras.
Okay.
Yeah, and also the white stripes that reflects light, and it
Cool.
could yeah, it could help in cooling zebras as well. So there are a lot of things that we are yet to learn.
Yet to learn, yes, yeah. I mean, I haven't done much study other than on zebra stripes. I read a little bit, especially when we spotted this particular guy. Yes, did a little bit research on it, and from his head to toe, everything was different. It was more brownish. It was not
Yeah.
black. It was more brownish, and there was no hair on its tail, and he was completely different. And he was really shiny, dark brown with white spots. It was really a magical moment. So see the tail texture. So the tail, when it comes to the mother, there is a black as well as white,
Mm-hmm.
and there is a lot of hair in the back. But this one was like a stick, and I have some videos. You can see the stick was kind of going left and right, so it was different. And yeah, this was once again, placement of your vehicle is one element over here. So we managed to get the placement slightly on the lower plane. So that's the reason we managed to get it in this level. And you see, I mean, seeing something like this, don't you think it was a real blessing?
Yeah.
Yeah, and again, the mother's tail is on the right left hand side, and you can see this guy over there. It was like, it was really harsh light. It was maybe around 11:30, 12 in the afternoon, so the light was really harsh. But then the sighting was very precious. Now, this is our darling Lorian from her last litter, not from this one. And we spotted her. We knew there is a cub. So we positioned ourselves. Once again, I was using a 180 400 mm over here. So I put it on 550. I put, you switch on the converter, put it on 550. So I wanted to get that whole thing. It was really dark in the evening. It was towards the end of the day. And I was using a Nikon D5. I pumped up the ISO, and as waited in few minutes time, we started to get this young little one. He came, and this is once again a behavior. They come and rub the face of the mother. And another behavior of cats, they try to put their tongue out and rub the face, and then They sat down. The mother started to care for the young one, and the young ones, they are curious. They were trying to give a closer look or trying to be very curious and looking straight to us. So whenever you are with cats, as I mentioned, repeating only one thing, be with them, think about how many subjects are there, what should be the background, what can do you think whether the background is going to play some role in it. Otherwise, you want to focus on the portrait side. What should be the aperture you should use? Do you need a creamy background? Do you need the bush to be seen as bush rather than a green tint? Those are the things which you need to think about. Don't forget about the shutter speed, because cups are extremely playful, so that to capture the moments, you require a certain shutter speed if you're not thinking about slow shutter experiments.
And that
Yeah.
level is also very good.
Yeah, thank you. Yeah, it was on top of a mount and we were really in a lower plane.
Okay.
So now, when it comes to this guy, from the beginning, when we got to know that there is a rhino with a young one in the bush, that's all we know. And I think it was with Philip or Johnny, I don't remember. So when we spotted it from a distance, he's like, I was thinking this is some anthill or some rocks inside, until unless we really approached closer. So he's like, yeah, it's there. You see. And what we see is only that black patch. And then the young ones start to move. So you can see a slight curve in the front below the head of the mother. So we could see that there is a young one. And we were there for almost 6 hours or 7 hours, from around 7 o'clock or 8 o'clock or 9 o'clock till afternoon or sometime. And then finally they made a move outside. And it was really a rush, maybe.
Very
Because
tiny, I guess.
I'm sorry?
That's very tiny, I guess.
Yeah, it was very tiny. And I think that was the reason the mother was keeping away as well. And you can see the zebras once again in the background. And you can see they were really going fast, the way the tail
Yeah,
was
yeah.
and the way the movement, and the young ones too, the front legs up in the air. So they were really in a hurry. So we took only few images and then we just left them to stay in peace. So once
And
again,
they know that their life is in very
yeah,
dangerous situation
yes,
throughout, like across the world.
yes,
The numbers have declined a lot when it comes to rhinos,
yeah,
as it's the same case in every animal, but especially for rhinos, like in the beginning of 20th century, it was said that there were 500,000 rhinos roamed in Africa or in Asia.
yeah.
But by 1970, the numbers dropped to 70,000, and now they're saying it's almost 27,000 remains in the wild from 500,000. Imagine the
Kind of,
decrease
yes,
of number to 27,000. So it's all for the horn that they have.
on their face, yeah. And
Yeah,
that too, there is absolutely no scientific evidence that it works like a whatever booster.
yeah,
Yeah, so it's very sad that some certain part of the world people believe that this, like tiger bones and tiger skin, tiger blood, and rhino horns and all these things I mean, rhino horns is used as a sexual energy booster or something. This
yeah.
is
It's they're
crazy.
saying it's a replacement for Viagra.
Yeah, so that's natural Viagra, whatever. But it has absolutely no scientific value in it, and it's just a pure blunder.
It's same as our nails, like with keratin.
Yes. And
So people
again, it
are,
is nothing. I think in some certain part of Asia, it's treated as a prestige issue to have this as a drink, or I don't know what nonsense. But unfortunately, this is what is killing this beautiful species.
mm,
Our ignorance, in fact. Now, this was my first ever close encounter with this tiny little what do you call a leopard cub. This is Bahati's cubs, and we followed Bahati in this particular situation maybe for 2 weeks. We knew especially Joni and Philip knew she got cubs from her stomach as well as from her nipples. We could see that she is nursing. So we were following her for almost 2 weeks. And then one day, when we were on the one side of the river, we saw the mother, Bahati, getting into a hole in a rocky plain, getting hold of a young one and crossing the river and going into a den. And we got some shots on that particular day. Then 2 days, right, Hermi? Two
Yes.
days we got some, maybe an hour each day, some spectacular series, and that was the first time experience with this tiny little ones. I think so far I haven't seen. No. Now Lorian's Cub and Lulu's Cub, everything happened after this. After this, I think this was kind of a lucky moment for us when it comes to leopard cubs. After this, it was really a beautiful series from different leopards. We have seen tiny ones from Lulu, we have seen tiny ones from Lorian, and this was Bahati. So let's hope the luck continues once
Parit,
again.
Parit
Yeah.
is asking, do you remember what year the cub was shot? She loves to going to that Rekero rock to give birth.
This was in 2009, 19 or 18?
Yeah, I think
19.
it is 19.
2019 April.
Yeah.
Yeah. So this was 2019 April, and we waited for this is from a morning session, and we reached the location maybe around 6:30, 6:45, and the cubs were out, and you can see the mother was around. And initially they didn't come out of the den, but then after some time, when the mother started to give that sound, the cubs came out, and they were so curious, and they were happily sitting there and watching us for a while. And then once so the first two images were with 400 and I'm putting it in PowerPoint. That's the reason it's head and tail, everything is cropped. Actually, it got all the parts even over here. So you can see the background in this particular case. You can see the foreground foliage as well as the young one being curious. And it becomes so curious. This is in 70 to 100 at 70 came so close. We just have to capture the eyes and see how beautiful it is. And this is the den. She was inside the den and was looking at us. And so think about, don't worry about at all about the foreground blurs, because leopards belongs to the bush. They will be inside the bush, especially when it comes to the young ones. So don't worry about what is in the foreground. What you can show is how they live, where they live, and how is their life. So this bush as well as the grass and the twigs and the trees play a major role. So show it in their habitat so that we understand the importance of keeping the habitat as it is. Now, once this guy get a little more comfortable, he started to play a bit of hide and seek. So there was a bush, and you can see the backlit hitting from backside as well as this little one, keeping its one forehand, the hands on top of that particular tree and trying to peep us through the gap. So it's more or less hide and seek, exactly like how we used to play as kids, and when it comes to Animal Kingdom too. And this was again from 2019, another beautiful moment, or very, very rare moment, a white or a pink elephant. I think it was an issue with albino. And I think, have you ever seen a white lion, Hermi?
No.
No. So yeah, it's again the same incident, same year in 2019 April. It was completely pink, and this is once again an afternoon show. We were looking for, I don't remember something, and around 11 o'clock when we were coming, we got a message from the radio, and we were like, is it true or not? Then we went to check this one, and this is what we saw, a pink elephant. It was not white, it was pink, especially when it was moving its ears. You could see the vein and every detail in the backside of the ear. and other elephants, this young one was very playful, but he was trying to hide in the shadow of the mother most of the time. It could be because of this, it cannot resist the heat because of the skin, I think. I'm not sure whether this is still alive. What Philip told me is it's still alive, but it is more brownish than, it's not black, but it's not pink. So it's more brownish now, but I haven't seen him after this event. In this particular case, what I was trying to portray was the other elephants along with this one, and the symmetry, plus the sky and the ground, and the rare occasion. And thankfully, everything fall into place, the tail as well as the trunks. And once again, about framing, you see, it's really difficult when it comes to cheetah cubs hiding in the grass, spotting them if the mother is not there, mother is not around, if the mother is not giving a call. It's extremely difficult because you really cannot differentiate. So even if you have a special filming permit, and if you're looking for a cheetah cub, you need to be extremely careful when you are going inside, because you can end up in hurting them. And what I was trying over here was the frame to show the mother's presence and show how the habitat play an important role when it comes to any species. So this is from Imani from 2016 or year. Forget about years. I keep forgetting years. So playing with light, try to keep the source of light in the back, right in the backside of the young one, so that you can get the outline. And yeah, as you see, it gets more on the warmer tint, and it's sitting right on top of the mother. And the playful one, a single one, I'm not sure whether it is still alive or not. People have different opinion, and everybody talk as a master. So I have absolutely no idea whether this cub is alive or not, because I heard somebody saying it's not alive, somebody saying it's alive. But either way, it's Imani with her cub. And look for actions, look for emotions, look for moments, so you feel like it was playing hide and seek. And these things happens, as I mentioned, only for a few seconds. Underexpose it slightly when it comes to technical side, so that you get the outline. But I didn't underexpose to major extents, because I wanted to get the details of the species, their face as well as their expression in this particular case. So that's the reason you are able to see it. And play with the light once again, increase the Kelvin so that it have that magical yellow tint, or that orange warm tint. Don't you think it is, when it comes to emotions and feelings, we think only we humans have feelings? No, it is wrong. The animals do have love, they do know how to express it, and they are not different from us. And don't take our ego to spoil the rest of the world. We all are equal. Yeah, so sometimes, the eyes can talk a lot. This is from the Seven Cups. Hermi, you remember the name of?
Yes, yeah.
Silgi.
Yeah.
Selgi or Silgi. Yeah, it's from the Seven Cup. Selgi means hope in Maasai language. Selgi means hope. So in 2 years ago, when this girl got cups, 7 cups, and we went to in November, I think. We went to see this with Peter, and Amit was with me, and we had some nice time with these guys. And the cubs were definitely curious, and as you see, especially cheetah cubs are extremely curious. They can really come, and you get into a field that they can get inside your vehicle. And the evening, once again, Selgi with one of her cub. This is Imani and her cub, Imani's cub. And this is one thing which is one of my favorite among, or close to heart moment among my collection with Imani's cub. So I underexposed over here for 5 stops, and I was using f4. And the idea was to get the outline as much as possible. So this is the outcome. Tip is, position of the light source should be right behind the subject. Think even the way they move their ears. Look for the moment where you get everything in a symmetrical way, and then shoot or fire. Kelvin on the higher side, 8,300. I was using F4 and I was underexposing it for 5 stops, and this is the result. Once again, Selgi with her cubs. You are seeing only two, and this is Imani with her cub. Once again, it's all about the emotions. This was one very special moment. You can see 4 of them standing up and suckling. So it was a dream for me to see young ones standing up and suckling. I was thinking about lions. I managed to get a lion standing up and suckling so far. Now three or four. In fact, there are 4 of them standing up and suckling with a cheetah. I'm still dreaming. Someday I will be able to see a leopard cub doing the same with one of the leopard. I'm hoping, or it's a dream. A moment right after the rain. This is what I was talking about. 7 cubs, all the 7. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, and 7 with the mother. I'm not sure. There is another story that she managed to save 2 cubs, and some people say that all of them are gone. So I really have absolutely no idea what is this fact I should believe. I don't know whether all of them are dead or at least some of them survived. So I hope at least some of them survived. Once again, if you are thinking about tails, or if you are with cubs, always try to focus around the tail. You will be able to get some moments. I have seen only lions carrying cubs. That too, I have seen only thrice. I'm still looking for forward for a full frame image of a head-on walking towards us, of a lion, leopard, and cheetah. In fact, Hermie got an amazing image of Luluka, right, Hermie?
Yes.
Carrying one of her cub close towards them, but I've never seen it, neither got a picture. So it's another dream list. Another Lion King moment from 2011 or 2012. It was a late evening shot, but that emotions were really beautiful. And most of the time when the cubs start to play with the male lions, they at times get quite irritated, and they can really hurt the young ones too. So, but then this one was different. See, he did get irritated, but he was not in a hurting mode. So, which was good. Yeah, it's not just about showing close-ups. You can also show the habitat. You can also show the high skyline, and you can show how beautiful Mara is. You can show the rocky plains. You can show the bushes and mountains and skyline. So think and just don't think only about portraits. Try to use different lenses and try to show the place as well. Yeah, this is another portrait from this time. F2.8, you can see late evening shot, and this guy was literally posing for us. This is Luluka moment. I think I got around 30 shots from this particular series, starting from the ground and the way she was looking, and then getting on top of the mother. Once again, I just put it and drag it to fit in, fit it for PowerPoint. Otherwise, no part of her body is chopped. And the plus point was the light. So you can see the outline, and you can see the action, and it was the whole body and the tail. So in the early mornings, if you're looking for action, try to keep the shutter speed on the higher side. If there are multiple elements like this mother and young one, then you need to keep the aperture also slightly on the higher side. These are the occasions where if you are going to use a higher end camera, your ISO performance of the camera can help you to get the action properly. And if you know the softwares to get rid of the noise, and that do play a major role too. I've never used it uh, till 2 weeks ago. I haven't used it, but after a session with Jeffrey suggested one particular software, we try to play with it, and it definitely works. Yeah, I feel really sorry when I see this one. This is from Lookout Pride, from the pride of Morani and Scarface. There were two young ones, very young ones, one slightly on the white side and one slightly on the dark side. Unfortunately, with the latest news, I think none of them are alive. But then we have some beautiful moments with them. So this is Lorien and Lorien's cub on a very late evening. So what I like in this particular case is their whiskers. Their whiskers talk a lot in this particular case. So the safety of the young one as well as the security what the mother gives, I think everything is visible when it comes to the image. And when it comes to leopards, try to focus on the whiskers, because the moment the whiskers are soft, you kind of feel the whole image is soft, because their whiskers are big and it's very prominent. So you need to make sure that the whiskers are visible. So the key is focusing on the whiskers. The same time, same day, there was a small cavity below the tree, and this little fellow was inside. And I was using f2.8, 5,500 or 6,000. There was the ISO. He was coming out. He was giving look in different angle, and finally, when he decided, and then he came out. So look for situations, and once again, these are the occasions where your camera play a major role. Your camera's ability to play with the light play a major role. A hide and seek from the same white cub, a close up of the same white cub. Yeah, f2.8 over here. And when you are with cubs, yes, they can always jump on top of the mother, be it a leopard, cheetah, or a lion. Once again, this was one scene which I really liked from this particular 2020 series. These few images definitely play a major part in my portfolio. This one was inside the same cavity, slightly more light. When there was more light from a different day, and it was trying to look at us. Lions do use the mouth and go on top of it, especially the young ones. They will give all kind of circus on top of it. So all you need to do is use the right settings to capture the image. Leopards, once again, yeah, when you are looking for leopards, you need to look either on when they are young, yes, inside the bush, or when they are big ones, yeah, look on top of the trees. So either way, it will be around the bushy areas most of the time. Same leopard around the same tree. My idea in this particular case, I wanted to have that particular leaf right above the eye. And I was waiting for the moment to happen and wanted this foreground foliage as well as the different shades of green. Thankfully, I think another blessed moment from Mother Nature got this one. Yeah, when the sky is slightly blank, and when you have anything in the horizon, you can think about black and white. So this was a mother and a young one. And yes, yeah, young one with a lot of other guesses. Mother and young one, a bit of clouds as well as other species. Yeah, this is one moment from 2014, if I'm not wrong. You can see, when the young ones are there, the mother tried to, when they stay in one place, the mother tried to push the young one with their trunk. So this was right before the push. So you could see the young one, its tail and the mother's trunk and the tusk, everything. And it was right about to push the young one to move further. So this was a moment from this time. It's a vertical image, but I was when I tried to put it, I just wanted to show the eye of the elephant. So when it is quite tricky when it comes to elephant to see the white portion of the eye. So the light was extremely beautiful in this evening, and I spent the whole evening with this particular elephant and the mother and their group, the herd. Got some lovely images from there. So you see the mother's mouth, hair from the mother's mouth, as well as the trunk on the left side, so that you know it is with the mother in a safer side. And once again, it's all about light, and once again, the light on the white portion in the elephant, young elephant's eyes, and it was suckling. This was a magical moment which happened in with Luluka. Uh, I was, in fact, I was in the field only for an hour or two. I was with Joni, in fact, to get some stuff for the camp. And on our way back, Joni heard about Luluka with the cub is visible. So we followed her, and then the moment they tried to walk around and we positioned, there were so many vehicles. So our vehicle, as well as there was one more vehicle in this particular line, and we were focusing on the cub. So I was thinking this cub is going to get on top of the neck as always, but then I didn't expect this at all. And 10 images with f2.8 and ISO 3000 or 2800, all the 10 images in focus. So that was definitely a blessing from Mother Nature, nothing other than that. And I was really thinking of action for sure, but I was absolutely not expecting anything like this. So this was definitely one of the highlights from the previous one. So think about, whenever cubs are there, think about speed. Think whether you are going to do experimental shots or you are going to capture the action as action with all its perfection. So that's very important. And yeah, these guys, there were three of them. We were the first people to spot it, and we unfortunately we got a flat tire at that point of time, and so we missed a bunch of shots. But later on, when Mahesh was with me, we managed to, on his way back to the airstrip, we managed to spend a couple of hours with these guys, and by that time they'd gone slightly more bigger, but some lovely moments with these three young ones and two young ones. The third one was missing by that time. This is Lorian's cub. This is Lorian is Luluka's mother as well. Okay, so we were the first people to spot these guys for the first time this time in November 27th, if I'm not wrong. And we got some lovely moments. Initially, the cub was very shy, but later on, as the time was moving, the cub became bolder and started to face the crowd with more power. I really wish this was a female, but unfortunately it is a male. If it was a female, she should have been around that particular area for a longer time, or her territory will be around that area. But then the moment it is a male, then they will be pushed away after 1.5 years, and it's very difficult to spot them again. And Lorian is a very old mother. She is about 12 years. So, but the way she is taking care of the cub is really amazing. Yeah, one evening moment with Amani and Amani's cub, and Imani's cub, and again, same moment from a beautiful evening. So when you are with a leopard or cheetah or any species, give them time to be comfortable with you and look for the moments to capture, so that you can capture those emotions. Look around their face or around their tails. There is always possibility to build a story. One moment, I think around 80 images of interaction with reflection. This is none other than our darling Luluka along with her cub from an afternoon after she made a kill. I missed the kill, but then when she came to bring the cub to the kill, this is what happened, their interaction. And once again, Lulu's cub playing, swinging on this particular One. Yeah, this is the last image of the show.
It's a beautiful frame.
This is one frame which Hermie was thinking about for a while, so I'm sure that he's going to get it soon from the wild. And I was using a C7 over here along with a 400 definitely one of a dream come moment for me. So, Hermie, that was
Amazing.
it from
Mhm.
my side.
Thank you so much for taking us through these beautiful, beautiful pictures.
Okay, so do you think I can come back to the screen or?
Yes, of course. You're always welcome.
Yeah, so I know it was quite a long time. I try to
But we enjoyed the pictures a lot. We have some questions left, which I didn't ask in between.
okay.
Uh, so graphite and paper is asking, do you use bracketing shots in such situations where when cloud is brighter, or you search other background to avoid high dynamic range?
No, I never used
Yeah,
bracketing system.
bracketing is an option, but usually we don't use
I
that.
didn't use
And
it.
yeah,
Yeah.
uh,
And yeah, we try to include the clouds as clouds to show the.
no, he's asking about when some area when the
It's
cloud comes, it will
okay,
be
okay.
dark and the background is
We
bright.
try to
Yeah,
play mid-range aperture so that you have an ability to control the light.
yeah. Dilip is asking, how did both of you shoot those individual lion photos from Tanzania with dark, rainy background and this lion looking at you sideward? Both of you had shot identical photos because we were in the same vehicle, and the lion was a bit far from us, so
Yeah,
you will not feel much difference in the
difference.
frame.
Yeah. In fact, there was one more photographer in the same
Yeah.
vehicle, and he too have the same kind of picture.
Shiva and Kumar is asking, are there night safaris in Kenya? Kenya, most of like
Yes.
some places they have night safaris, but in Masai Mara National
Same
Reserve,
around.
they don't have night safari. Uh, Radhakrishnan is again on the flash. I think it depends on wavelength of the flash and also the speed. Yeah,
Yeah.
you're right in that case. Deepthi is saying that's so beautiful, your pictures. Do you post process any pictures?
I do process. I mean, because I'm shooting in RAW, definitely a post processing is required, and I use Lightroom for post processing. The only difference is most of the time when I'm doing my 365 days, I'm not post processing. I'm just taking a screenshot from that and sharing it because lack of time. But what you see today, almost all pictures are processed
Yeah, because we always shoot in RAW.
in RAW.
The picture has to be processed
Yeah.
before presenting. Gautam is saying thanks for the experience sharing beautiful pictures. Rabinesh, I like to hear you both speak a little bit Tamil.
கொஞ்சம் கொஞ்சம்
என்னன்னா
தான் தெரியும்
என்ன
தம்பி.
சொல்றது? உங்களுக்கு சௌக்கியம் நினைக்கிறேன். രാഹുൽ is saying super pic സുഖമാണോ എന്തുണ്ട് വിശേഷം?
നല്ല വിശേഷം സുഖമാണ്.
സുഖമായിരിക്കുന്നു, എല്ലാവരും സുഖമായിരിക്കുന്നു. Yeah, Nadir Salyani was asking about how can I get advance notice of an upcoming event. She's not on Instagram, so I have shared her the WhatsApp group link. She can join.
Okay. Yeah.
Parit is saying, I was there in May, spent 3 days and never got a shot of that cub. I know exactly
Okay.
what you mean.
In
Yeah,
fact, what happened right after the second day, the
third day.
rangers put a no entry board to that particular one.
Yeah, and on the third day, we have seen a lot of hyenas around that area, and mostly she might have moved to a different place. And I don't think like we haven't seen the cubs either after that.
Yeah. And we heard that one cub was she lost one cub, only two survived.
Yeah. Graphite and paper is asking, do you also do hide photography? We haven't done so far.
We haven't. No.
Udit Pathak is saying, I was in a session with Suyash Keshri. He talked a lot about poaching issues in India. Have you got any idea about the poaching situation in Africa and would like to talk about it?
Thankfully, Masai Mara is a safer side. So far, I understand. I
Yeah, the
know that
poaching is very less.
very less compared to any other part of Africa. In generally in Africa, people say in every 15 minutes one elephant get killed in Africa, right? As per the records, but I really don't know the science behind it. I mean the actual data behind it. But yes, in generally Africa got a lot of poaching issues, but thankfully Masai Mara is on the safer side, as
Yeah,
per my understanding.
yes. So Dilip is again pulling you, Nisha. Nisha is full of energy today. Effect of Canadian steak vodka to beat quarantine effects.
Quarantine is over. I'm a vegetarian, so no steak. Vodka, no, I have a bottle of wine over here. But yeah, morning it is some herbal tree, herbal tea. I was trying to keep it away because of the flavor, but when I started to taste it, it's really good.
Okay, and Rabunesh is again asking when planning to take classes in Kerala after lockdown. Eagerly waiting.
Oh my God, lockdown. I'm not sure when I'm going to come to Kerala. I'm planning to, if things are going to go well with COVID, I'm planning to go to India, hopefully in the first week or in the beginning of November. But honestly, I don't think this time I'm planning for any class. I haven't seen my family for almost 2 years, so my only idea is to spend time at home. But maybe in 2023, Hermi, we should think about doing something in Kerala.
Yes, a lot of people are asking to do in India and Kerala. And yeah, I did a mistake. Nadir Salyani is a he, no, not she. So sorry for that. I didn't know who. So, sorry for that. Shaista is again saying, I have used all my adjectives for Nisha's photography, so I will sit quietly.
Thanks, dear. Thank you so much.
Please
Please
share
share
some
some
videos in this channel. I don't know what kind of videos are you. Maybe yeah, the videos of
wildlife.
animals.
Yeah, I think so too.
Yes. Yeah. So we are preparing some uh, small video clips to share with you. So we'll be soon uploading it as well in this channel.
Yeah.
Salon whispers fine
Captain.
art photography. Most difficult subject to shoot is elephant. The only animal made that my blood boil. I tried all settings.
Yeah, it should be. Your luck is completely based on the light. So if
Yeah.
the light is good, then it is good. Otherwise, it can definitely give you a hard time.
Yeah. So I think we have answered almost all the
Almost
questions
all
for
time.
today.
And
And
I
it's
think I took way more time than I thought.
yeah.
It's almost 2 hours.
Yesterday you were saying that you're preparing for 30 minutes and it's almost 2 hours.
When I was going through, I just flipped through. When you start to talk about it, it takes time. And when it comes to photography, I can do this for the whole day. Sorry.
Dilip is saying a lot of wild elephants and tigers waiting for you in Kerala. Nowadays they are seen on the road freely because of the COVID. Yeah, we'll be soon, hopefully soon coming to Kerala
Kerala and
and
India.
other wildlife park in India. Let's see.
Yeah.
Anson is saying nice to listen. Thank you
Thank
so
you.
much. And we hope you all enjoyed today's session as well.
Yeah.
Uh, we we have a very good session coming on Friday, 21st May, and it's being done by Roger Brendagan. He's a 14-year-old Nikon ambassador, and uh,
Yeah, he's
yeah,
Nikon ambassador for 14 years.
yes. So he got a lot of things to share with us. He's from Norway. He's a good mentor as well. So You all will learn a lot from him, from his last, I think 20 years plus, 26 years plus experience in photography from that part of the region. You will find a lot of bears, Arctic foxes, red fox, polar bear, brown bear, grizzly
Yeah, a
bear,
lot of bears.
lot of species included. Let's It's like 2 days more, so I'm eagerly waiting for the session, and I hope most of you will enjoy it. So let's wait for that session as well.
Yeah.
Captain is saying love you both. We also love you a lot,
Me
Captain.
too.
I'm sure.
I'm sure
Yeah. Now I have to like trademark this blue for
Therapist
me.
Blue. I understand. At least please arrange a meetup one day along with you while you come to India, please. I will. See, it all
Yeah, yeah.
depends on how the COVID conditions are, but definitely we'll try to think about one day.
Yeah, we'll
Yeah.
do some session in a place where everyone can reach
Yes.
from Kerala, maybe in Parambiculam or somewhere like that.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay, so that's it for the day.
One day journey for me, man.
Huh?
Paramikulam is one day journey for me.
It's 3 to 4 hours for me.
Yeah. All right. Yeah. So thanks
So
a lot,
yeah,
guys. And I
it's
know I
time to
took a
wind
long.
up,
Yeah.
and COVID is still there everywhere. So everyone, please take care of yourself and your loved ones. We all have to take care of ourselves.
That's a first step.
And
Yes.
yeah, we need to do more sessions, more photography, and we have to enjoy a lot in life.
Yeah.
So let's
Let's take care of ourselves. Let's
yeah,
live an eco-friendly life. Let's forget about ego, and let's do our best to protect our mother nature. So on that
yeah.
note, don't forget mask, hand sanitizer, social distancing. Till we
And
see day after
bye
tomorrow.
bye.
Bye
Yeah.
bye.